Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my Cerebralites. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, and I'm back with another episode of You Say What. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, You Say What is your opportunity to chime in, to leave your 2 cents, and to be a part of the discussion that is happening here on my channel within my community of Cerebralites. Having said that, before you go another further, do yourself a favor, and while you're at it, do me a solid. Take a second to hit that subscribe button. Once you've done that, take another second to hit that tiny little bell so you can turn on your notifications, and that way you'll be kept in the loop so you won't miss a thing. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to talk really quickly about Monique and Netflix. And if you're unaware of what's happening with Monique and Netflix, let me scoot a little closer to my microphone so you can hear me better. Excuse me. So anyhow, if you're unfamiliar about what's happening with Monique and Netflix, apparently Netflix came to Monique with an offer for a Netflix comedy special. Now, comedians like Amy Schumer, Dave Chappelle, and so on, Aziz Ansari, were offered upwards of $13 million, I believe is the figure that was quoted. And so when they came to the Academy Award winning, not nominated, Academy Award winning actress Monique and comedian, they offered her $500,000. Monique politely rejected the offer and decided to use her voice in protest. Now, a lot of people are saying that Monique should have been compliant. Just take the $500,000. And I can understand how some people feel that way. I don't want to completely discount that because some people are always in survival mode. And at some point in life, you have to stop trying to get by and start trying to get ahead. And I think Monique is in get ahead mode, where she doesn't necessarily need the money to get by, but it's time for her to get ahead because her career, let's be completely honest, her career has stalled. And to a large degree, she blames that on Oprah Winfrey and Lee Daniels for blackballing her for not being willing to promote the movie Precious, I believe it was. And that's a whole other video. I don't even want to open that Pandora's box. But in the age of the Me Too, in this Me Too era, so to speak, I have to agree with Monique. I feel like I'm not a dog. I won't accept your scraps. If Amy Schumer is worthy of $5 million, how is it that you're going to devalue me to 10% of what you see her being worth? And yes, Amy Schumer today is probably a bigger name than Monique. That is the reality of the situation. And I get that. And I get that Netflix is a business and they're in the business of making money. However, with that being said, 10%? And I'm just throwing the figure of 10% out. I'm not sure exactly how much money Amy Schumer got, but I'm just using that as sort of a benchmark, if you will. Now, the thing that really gets me about people of color, and I just have to, let me say this. Today I canceled my Netflix account. And the reason I canceled my account is because I think that as people of color, we have to, and not just people of color, as women, we have to learn to have solidarity and not be so divided. And the reason I say that is because a couple of weeks ago, the entire internet was buzzing about this young boy wearing a t-shirt that said, "I'm the coolest monkey in the jungle." People were losing their minds. Oh my God, I can't believe that the parent would allow him to do, myself included, by the way. People were just so completely incredulous about the fact that this was happening in 2018. Now, when that happened, everyone's tweeting. And see, tweeting doesn't cost you anything. Tweeting is not an inconvenience. Tweeting is a couple of characters, you press send, and then life goes on. But when it comes to making a bigger commitment, a bigger stance, a lot of people are reluctant to do that. Like, people like to complain about things. Like, all of the people who complain about Donald Trump, but if you ask them if they voted, they'll say no. And some people even will say that I voted for Donald Trump as a joke because I didn't think that he would win. Well, the one thing that you don't joke about is your freedom. And so I think that that's an ignorant thing to do for those of you who may have potentially done that. But once again, that's a whole other Pandora's box that we're not going to open today. We're going to stay on task here. We're going to talk about Monique in this particular situation. And so back to my point at hand. I think a lot of people like to sort of be a part of a movement. So people are tweeting about a t-shirt that H&M put out. So people want to join the movement to look cool, to be a part of the trend on social media because no one for the most part, people don't like being the odd person out. They have FOMO, fear of missing out. And so they join in and they start tweeting all of this sort of socially conscious um, information, but they're really not ready to walk the walk. And whether you agree with Monique or not, the bottom line is that the optics of this does not look good. For you to offer this lady who's won an Academy Award, who's had her own hugely success. I mean, The Parkers was one of my favorite shows growing up. Um, Monique has the chops. She's absolutely funny. And the potential for, and I'm not sure of the specifics of the deal. Maybe there was some sort of back end deal where maybe she was going to get a percentage of the proceeds. Maybe 500,000 was sort of the baseline figure, if you will. I don't know what that particular I don't know what the numbers are, so I really can't speak to the comprehensive formatting of the deal, so to speak. But with that being said, I think that we have to be willing to inconvenience ourselves. And sometimes inconveniencing yourself means I'm canceling my Netflix subscription. And that's what I did today. And I love shows on Netflix for the most part. She's Gotta Have It is probably one of my favorite shows that's currently running. If you haven't seen it, before you cancel your subscription, make sure you binge watch She's Gotta Have It, which is another point. When I see the show She's Gotta Have It, knowing that they offered Monique $500,000, now I'm thinking, how much did the actress in She's Gotta Have It get paid? If they're offering Monique $500,000, this girl's probably getting like, $18 an hour for a hugely popular show just because she doesn't have a name to support her being paid what she's worth being paid. And I think it's time for us to stop complaining about things and start recognizing our own economic power. You can protest, you can hold signs, you can scream, you can have sit-ins. Nothing gets their attention like money. When they stop seeing your money coming into them, they will definitely make changes. So if you want to make changes, sometimes it means that you have to have a momentary inconvenience. Let's cancel those subscriptions to Netflix just momentarily if we have to make a statement, to get Netflix to understand that we want to be treated like everyone else. You can't walk, because the reality is that situation with Netflix and Monique is not something that's unique. It's not something that hasn't been happening. Monique is just one of the people who's unafraid to speak out about it, because trust and believe, it's happened to many other black actors and actresses before, but their management team is telling them, hey, don't say anything, otherwise this will happen or that will happen. But Monique just has that IDGAF attitude. She just does not care. And so for that reason, we're having insight into the negotiations that we typically don't see. So anyhow, you guys, that's how I feel about the situation. I want to know how you feel. So make sure you comment below. And just to underscore the whole point of this video, don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. Use and exercise your economic power. Nothing gets the attention like a missing dollar. When you take your money off the table, then suddenly they want to hear what you have to say. You have to remember that. And if that causes you to be, and if you even think back to the civil rights movement, think about all the people when Rosa Parks decided not to get on the bus who inconvenienced themselves by walking to work because they refused to give their money to a city, a public transit authority who did not respect them as human beings. And that's the same thing that we have to be willing to do, whether it's H&M, whether it's Pepsi, whether it's Netflix. I'm not going to give my dollars to anyone who doesn't respect me. And that concludes this episode. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and please share if you feel so inclined. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Also remember, it is better to be pissed off than it is to be pissed on. And it's always, in closing, people, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It is me, the Cerebral Diva. I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day. And as always, thank you for listening.